Hello there and welcome to Recettear, an item shop's tale. Now this delightful indie game was first released in Japan all the way back in 2007 and it's basically taken 3 years to get an English translation. It's well worth it though, because this is the flip side of adventuring and it basically tells you how to run your own shop. So as you can see, there's a few different places that you can go to. You can basically go here for information or to buy and sell stuff. Now, obviously, if you go to a merchant, you can buy items for a lot cheaper than what you can sell them for. So the idea here is to basically stock up, get yourself some bargains. You've only got a finite amount of money to begin with, and then see if you can sell them on to the customers. Now, one nice touch is later in the game, you can start creating your own items, and you obviously have to find them. But it's quite clever. So here's your actual shop. That little fairy following you around is your helper called Tear. And she allows you to access various menus, and as you can see there, you could basically change various elements of your shop, but you can only do that once you get high in level. So basically the main focus of Recettear is basically trading and selling stuff. So as you can see, customers are coming in and they'll either ask you for things to basically put by for them in the future, and they'll come back in a couple of days to pick up, or they'll simply want to buy stuff or sell stuff. And the aim is to basically rip those bastards off and get as much money as you possibly can. Of course, it's important to take into account that certain characters, they've all got their distinct individuals, personalities even, and some of them you'll be able to take for a ride, others you'll have to haggle with. And that's one of the delights of Recettear. It's basically knowing what you can and can't get away with, and then taking advantage of it whenever you can. Now, basically you have a week to sell to reach a target, otherwise your shop's taken from you. But worry not, if for whatever reason you do run out of money and you can't make it, you simply loop and you carry on with your actual level, but all your money starts again at 1,000 picks. But because of obviously your level's high, as you can see there, I've got 10,000 picks due to my next payment. In the top left hand corner you've got a time zone, and this will basically change throughout the day, so you can basically have four amounts of selling, or you could go to a dungeon, and I'll explain that in a moment, but basically it takes up 2 parts of your pie, meaning that you haven't got as much time for shopping. So there's obviously quite a lot of resource management going on. Another thing to bear in mind as well is that you really want to put the best possible stuff in your windows, so they'll attract new customers in. As you can see, I'm not doing too well here at the moment because I've got 3 empty gaps that really do need to be filled. There's a huge variety of different things that you can buy, ranging from treasures, ranging from swords, armour, food, and the idea is that you want a nice balance of stuff so that when somebody does come in and get something, you don't turn them away. Now this is the adventuring section, and this is really great. What you do here is you can choose any number of items that you currently own, which you can take into the dungeon with you. These all basically give you health and SP boosts. And then you choose a location, and then you go dungeoning. Now in this section you take control of an adventurer, and providing you can get out in one piece, anything you pick up along the way you get to keep. Obviously this is really desirable because it basically means that you can get 100% profit on anything you sell. Although it's worth noting that, as I said before, you've only got a finite amount of time in the dungeon, and basically staying in there will eat up 2 wedges, so it means that you've got less chance of selling stuff. The combat is fairly simplistic. There's quite a lot of repetitive enemies, but it doesn't really matter because it's so fun, it's so charming. And you'll constantly take these guys down because you want to see what hopefully drops they're going to leave behind. There'll be chests dotted around the game as well, and they'll give you either goodies or hindrances. And then at the end of every 5th level you'll meet a boss, many of which are very charming attack patterns which can take a while to figure out. And then once you've defeated the boss, you can either delve on deeper into the dungeon, bearing in mind that obviously when your energy runs out, as depicted in the lower left hand corner, you are going to die and you can only take 1 item with you. So again, there's a large amount of management because you really have to know when to call it a day. You get little news flashes like that throughout both the dungeon and the shops, and there could be anything from basically telling you that monsters are going to be harder on this stage to the price of metal has gone up or down, so you need to plan accordingly. And that pretty much is Recettear in a nutshell. There doesn't appear to be a lot to it, but it's an incredibly deep game, and the further you get into it, it introduces layer upon layer upon layer. But at the end of the day, it has got an absolutely amazingly good core mechanic, which is basically the buying and selling of items, which is perfect risk and reward. Just as good as anything you'd see in the likes of Burnout 3. It's just so well done, because, you know, if you take the piss and you try and charge too much money, you're going to lose a sale, and when you've only got a few days left before your payment's due, you know, you need every customer you can get. So as you can see here, we've just got a chest. The items are automatically added. You can carry up to 20 items, and then it's a case of deciding which stuff you want to take with you. Another nice touch is, as the game progresses, you'll pick up things like ingredients, which, as we saw earlier, can be fused to basically make new items, which is another handy way of basically getting the good stuff without going through all the rigmarole of finding it. Now, these snowflakes on the screen that you can see at the moment, basically I've set up a trap, so everything's slip-slidey, which makes it very, very hard to hit enemies, and as you can see, I'm taking a hell of a lot of damage at the moment. Slimes. Again, a very, very basic looking game, but beneath the simplistic looking visuals, it's incredibly charming. It's also very funny. There's a fantastic localization which has been done here. And here's one of the bosses I was telling you about earlier. Quite clever on this. Basically, take out the slimes, he'll get smaller until you can actually do a decent amount of damage to him. The green bar at the top is your health, the blue bar beneath that is your magic, and the red bar denotes experience. So obviously the more monsters you hit, the higher up the experience of the adventurers get. Although it's worth bearing in mind that obviously as adventurers get more experience, it will cost you more money to take them into the dungeon in the first place. So again, at the end of the day, you're constantly worrying about money and making sure you've got enough of it. And it just works brilliantly well. So we're going back to the town now, as you can see. You get a bonus showing you all the items that I've picked up, and you can take all that with you. So again, you're back to the shop, and as you can see from outside the window, it's getting darker now. So I've basically got 2 more periods of selling before the day's up. So again, as I noted before, it's important to try and make sure that you've got a nice range of items in the shop and stuff which is going to basically attract customers. As you can see, I just put a nice sparkly wand in the front mirror. You can change things like the actual colour of the wallpaper, the floor, even the rugs to basically make your customers feel more at home. And again, all of that happens as you gain more experience and your merchant level increases. So really, that's it. That's Recettear, an item shop's tale. It's currently available on Steam for the not unreasonable price of $12.99, which I think is more than worth it. I was lucky enough to pick it up in the Steam sales for half the price, but to be fair, the amount of hours gameplay I've got into this now, I've probably put about 10 hours into it on and off, and there's just so much to it. It just keeps on giving and giving, and it's just a wondrous, wondrous little game. So if I was you, I'd download it straight away, and you'll realise that capitalism really is great. This is Darren Jones from Retro Gamer. I'll be back with more videos very, very soon, guys. Bye!